Welcome to the Malt Miller YouTube channel. If, like James and I here, you've been homebrewing for a while, you understand that homebrewing is 80% cleaning. Well, stay tuned, we're going to give you some products that might be able to help you out.
Reiki, I've been homebrewing for just shy of 10 years. In fact, it'll be 10 years ago this coming Christmas, 2026, that I got my first homebrewing starter kit. And it was the summer of 2016 that actually got me starting to think about homebrewing. Little did I know at that point that actually, fast forward to when I started homebrewing, the amount of time I spent cleaning and sanitizing, and still to this day, I actually spend a huge amount of time doing, right?
It's a big part of the process, you know, and getting it right is also what helps you get the best beer possible.
Yep.
But the trick to cleaning is having the right products to make the cleaning as easy as possible.
So we, and many of you watching at home, will understand that in general, cleaning and sanitizing should be treated as two separate steps. We clean things that need cleaning, and then we sanitize things that need sanitizing. You don't have to sanitize every single bit of your brewing equipment. You do have to clean it though, right?
Definitely. You know, you sanitize the stuff that's on the cold side primarily. But the key part is making sure you've got the right products to do the cleaning and the sanitizing of all your brewing equipment, but also your dispense equipment.
Yeah.
You know, that's why we've kind of put a lot of work into finding the right partner suppliers to supply us with the products that we're going to talk about. You know, and the company which we're going to primarily focus on today is Chemisphere. So they're a UK-based company. Their R&D's based up in Manchester, along with their packaging production facilities. So that's where all the products come from that come down to us.
And we love working with Chemisphere. In fact, they've been really supportive of homebrew over the last few years, helping us get the right products in the right sizes so that they're relevant for everybody at home.
Yeah, you know, we know the primary products which are homebrew based products, but they also have this huge range of commercial products for commercial bars, taps, breweries, kitchens. There's an extensive range that as homebrewers we are yet to kind of dip our toe in and start using. So we'll go through some of those products today.
But equally, Martin, we're seeing more and more over the years that actually there's a lot of commercial customers coming to us for various bits and pieces of equipment, whether that be, you know, 50-meter lines of beer line, gas line, taps for their tap rooms, Luca taps.
Definitely.
You know, all of those various bits and pieces, little fittings and bits and bobs and spares for breweries that actually we've now got this massive range which we're going to go into that actually could be really beneficial for them to be able to get with our sort of speed of service, next day delivery, extensive range of all of our other bits and pieces. But equally, we think that in amongst that range there's some hidden gems that homebrewers could be using to level up certain parts of their process. Now we're going to start with where it all started for us, just as a refresher for kind of the thing that opened our eyes to what Chemisphere offer, and it is Chemclean. And Martin, you there have a bottle of Chemsan.
Chemsan, yes. Yeah. So no rinse sanitizer.
Now, we do loads of different cleaners and a few different types of sanitizers, especially with the enhancements coming. But these have been stalwarts for us in the hobby for the last few years. Chemclean's great at cleaning various bits and pieces, you know, whether it be soaking bottles before you sanitize them to package your beer into.
Cleaning out your fermenter after you've finished packaging the beer.
Yeah, soaking, like leaving kegs to soak, or even just doing like a run through your brewing system after it's been, you know, after a few brews, you just want to give it a deeper clean. Chemclean's great for that. And then Chemsan, you know, absolutely.
Is that like foaming sanitizer? Touch it, it's like on there for like a few moments and sanitized. So you can then use a spray bottle as well with it if you wanted to go over things again. It's just a stalwart within my home brewery. Yeah,
and we do loads of different sizes of those for different kind of levels of home brewing, but these are really where our journey with Chemisphere started. Then, a few years ago, we found a couple of other amazing products, didn't we?
Yeah, when we did the video with Budvar, we spent a lot of time looking at how beer is presented in the glass. Brush up. So we did a bit of research into what Radim was using at the Budvar Brewery, and the closest thing we could find in the UK that was available was Brush Up. That's when we introduced this to our range. I absolutely love this. One of the things I do at home with this is you can't always have the hedgehog set up in your sink to clean glasses. All my glasses I do by hand now. They are all done, and I have a spray bottle with about 5 or 10 ml of this and water in there to dilute it, so it goes a really long way. And I just spray inside the bottles. I've got a bottle brush, scrub inside, rinse, goes on the drainer, job done.
Yeah.
So easy. And it just stops that DGM on your glassware.
Yes, which none of us want. Nobody wants to fall foul of the DGM.
No.
But what we love about this, actually, we use it here when we're doing judging for competitions. We'll have it mixed up in a trug in the sink, and we'll just make sure that all the glasses get cleaned throughout the judging process. So primarily we're judging out of glasses, not plastic cups. And yeah, it's super easy, really good. Doesn't leave any kind of residual odours or anything like that. Absolute gem, really good product.
That's another one of my favourites you've got there.
Yes, Baseline. Now, Baseline is, it's actually marketed as like a hard surface cleaner.
Yeah.
Which, that makes sense. Quite a lot of us have hard surfaces in our breweries. Thinking about some of the modern brewing products that are available, and I'm specifically talking about things like incognito, like sticky residue that can get caught up inside your brewing system. Baseline's brilliant at getting that off. It's just like really simple to use, breaks down those sticky, more harder to sort of just scrub off deposits that can come up throughout the brewing process. Great for cleaning down your worktops. If you've got like stainless steel worktops, you've got a swanky home brewery with stainless steel worktops, really good for doing that with as well.
One of my favourite tricks with this, so I still use plastic buckets at home. I've got one of those with like bathroom cleaning sponges that isn't going to scratch your bath. Bit of that on there, scrubs out the crud onto the inside of your bucket without scratching the bucket. Breaks everything down. It's fantastic.
So those are the bits and pieces we've had for a while. Now we need to dive into the new things, or kind of the extensions of some of the ranges that we're offering, because there's some absolute gems that have come along. Now we're going to dive into an area that can be sometimes overlooked by home brewers, and that is maintaining our beer lines and taps. Now, in a commercial setting, right?
Yeah.
You're going to be cleaning your beer lines and taps, ideally on at least a weekly basis.
Yeah.
Depending on how much is going through them, maybe a couple of times a week.
Yeah, it could be any amount, but that's the thing. There's a product that kind of covers different usage and different cleaning regimes. And they do 3 different products to try and help people manage and maintain, and also kind of bring old systems back to life, which have been neglected. So that's basically what the range does.
So we're talking about Pipeline here. Now, Pipeline is basically a solution that you dilute that can be pushed through your beer lines, and it will clean all of the crud from inside your beer lines, leave them sparkling clean so that you can put the next batch of beer through them, or just give everything a freshen up if you haven't used it in a while. But like Martin said, there's 3 different tiers within the Pipeline range. The best way to describe it, Martin, how did you say? So Pipeline Original, that is...
Maintain.
Yeah, so that's going to be the sort of product you're going to use on
weekly.
Weekly basis in a commercial setting.
Yeah. Then you've got Professional, which is a control. So, if you're not doing it so often, or not pushing as much through, control is like a stronger, much heavier.
Yeah.
But then you've got Gold, and Gold basically is a restore, and kind of like if it's been neglected, you can put that through the system. And I would probably say that that's, if you've not done any of this, that's probably where I would start, is with Gold, because then you're going to give your system that big, deep clean, and then you can actually do the maintain or control.
And for many of us as homebrewers, we're not in a commercial setting. We're not putting beer through our system as regularly or as often or as much volume through them. And so actually this has got me thinking that actually for someone that's could sometimes be a bit lax on this, I would probably be looking at the middle tier, because I'm going to do it less frequently. So I want a deeper clean, but I'm going to be doing it. So I don't necessarily need to go down the restore route.
That's exactly kind of what I do, James. It's like, if I've not cleaned for a few weeks, I will go for that. If I've not cleaned for a few months, I'm definitely running some Gold through first, and then thinking, get back into a regime of doing that. But the great thing is these are all available in different sizes, and there's also different formats. They do powder as well as liquid.
Yeah, we've got these lovely little powder sachets in a couple of different size options. They're great for like one-time use. So say you've bought yourself a hand pull off of eBay and you're getting it set up to run like your first lot of, kind of homebrew cask through it, but you want to make sure that hand pull gets a really deep clean because you've not cleaned it before, and you don't know how long it's been sat doing nothing. Well, actually Gold would be where you would start with that. Give it a really thorough, great level of kind of polish and finish, and then just go into that maintenance mode where you might use one of the other tiers.
And also I kind of like, you touched on hand pulls. I tend to only use my hand pull kind of like the darker winter months. I don't use it that much through the summer. So before I start using it, this definitely goes through. James, while you're talking about maintaining your pipes, we've also got these, because these require a good amount of rinsing to ensure they're not in the system anymore.
Yeah, because you don't want to be drinking any of these.
No, definitely not. So can you explain exactly what these are and how to use them?
Yeah, so pipeline test papers, basically once you think you've rinsed your system through, you then run some rinsing water through the system and you put one of these test papers underneath the water as it's pouring out. That might be from a keg or from maybe like a power sprayer that you've got hooked up to your beer lines. If these change colour, it means you've still got some residual pipeline in the system.
Okay.
So you need to continue to rinse until basically these don't change colour.
So it's almost like an extension of these, because these are colour changing as well to tell you when the system's clean.
Yes, so it's just belt and braces helping you make sure that your system is first and foremost clean, secondly free of any pipeline before you start hooking beer up to it.
So the next product we're going to talk about is called Renovate. This is something which is aimed probably more at commercial use, so like tap rooms, bars, breweries. Do you want to give us a little rundown of what these are?
Yeah, so Renovate is basically something that you can run through your dishwashing, glass washing, glassware machinery. So, glass washers, dishwashers, to rejuvenate those machines.
Okay.
Help strip out all waste, all kind of muck, all of the baked on grime that can build up in those machines that can affect their cleaning power.
So if someone stupidly put a coffee cup in there as well as the glasses, that's going to spread fats in there. They don't want that, do they?
Yeah,
so
yeah.
This is going to sort all that problem out.
It is. It isn't a descaler. That's worth noting. If you need to descale, then there are separate products which we'll come on to that can help with that. This is predominantly for rejuvenating those bits of equipment. Now, it might sound, Martin, like you said, that this is something that's really geared towards those tap room experiences, where there's lots and lots of glasses being washed really, really frequently, high turnover, and those machines are running for hours on end. However, I think there's definitely a case for homebrewers to have some of this, even if it's just, one of the smaller pots or some of the small sachets.
Okay, what you got up your sleeve? What you thinking?
Well, I've got dishwasher. Have you got dishwasher?
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah? And like you said, you don't wash your glassware through there, right?
No.
The reason we don't wash our glassware through there is predominantly because you get kind of a grease build up. There's, food deposits. Let's face it, none of us take the filter out of our dishwasher and wash it after every single time the dishwasher's been on. Right?
No, I do it when it tells me that,
Yeah.
when the warning light comes on.
But this could be a way of making sure that your home dishwashers are actually performing at a really decent level. And then you might actually be able to put your glassware through your dishwasher. We also know that there are a few avid home brewers out there that have glass washers in their homebrew setup. So this is definitely something to take a look at. There's two different levels. You've got the kind of original Renovate and then there's a professional one. The real difference there is just like the power behind them. For most people, the original is going to be absolutely fine. If you are in a commercial setting where you've got a big glass wash system that's going time and time and time again, or a commercial kitchen or something like that, then you might want to have a look at the professional one. But certainly for homebrewers, just having a couple of the sachets of the 50 gram stuff knocking around to be able to put through your home dishwasher, or like I said, if you're lucky enough to have a glass wash because you've got that many friends that come over and drink that much beer that you need to turn your glassware around quickly every night.
It's talking to you, Richard Bagley.
We've talked a lot about cleaning, haven't we?
Yes.
Right at the top of the video, we said that cleaning and sanitizing are two different steps. We've got some options here as well, haven't we?
You're going to love this product. This is really cool.
So what we got there?
So, your pub, end of the night, you're always last man standing. You see them taking the nozzles off the taps, or they take the sparklers off the cask lines. Half a pint of water in a pint glass, one of these tablets. It's a sanitizer, and it's to sanitize your nozzles, and that's what pubs and bars use.
Ah,
So
nice.
handy little sanitizer to have around.
Yeah.
So then the next morning, rinse it out, put them all back in your taps.
And I am guilty of not doing that very often, and that first pint that I pour, I'd be lying if there hasn't been the occasional time when the first time I open that tap, I end up with a couple of fruit flies bobbing around
Yum.
in the head. So actually that's really cool. That's nice.
I think they're
I
cool.
like that. Yeah.
I mean, we also have the spray as well that you can use for cleaning your taps and stuff like that. So combined with that, I think they're a great little tool to have around the home brewery or the dispense system.
Yeah.
So what have you got there then, James?
Well, you've got a little pack. I've got a bigger pack.
Okay.
So these are also sanitizing tablets under the Renovate brand by Chemisphere, but these are slightly different. Okay, so these are for actually a wide range of usage. So 10 litres of water, one tablet. You can use this on anything that you want to sanitize, right? So maybe you want to sanitize your dishwasher, right? Maybe you want to sanitize a particular piece of equipment that you've got, or a surface that you've got, put it into a spray bottle and you can spray it down as sanitizer. You can use these, you know, if you were in a situation where you had like suspicions about the purity of your groundwater, and then your final rinse of stuff, you didn't want to end up basically being a situation where mold could grow. Great option. Just mix one of these into some water. You've got water that's suitable for using, well, it's a sanitizer at that point. Use it in a wide range of applications. Now we need to talk about my favourite, and I only say my favourite because I think it's got the best name, Descale or Descaling.
Okay,
now
you were going to spot that.
Definitely wouldn't want to be drinking this, okay? So it is a descaler, and it's a powerful descaler. It's like a hydrochloric acid based descaler.
Okay. So you need to be safe with you need to be safe with all the products we talked about. You know, we would recommend gloves. They're not nice for skin.
Yes.
This especially though.
Yeah.
You want to keep away.
There are some really, really good use cases, both commercially, but also in a homebrew setting where you need to think about scale removal, right? You've got an HLT, like one of the kind of T-urn style HLT tanks that you're literally heating water up time and time and time again. You get scale deposits that can be quite thick and troublesome to remove with, you know, domestic descalers.
Yeah.
So something like that is, whilst it is very powerful, you need to treat it with respect and all the safety measures, could make that process much, much easier.
Yeah, so doing it in the HLT, but also elements. I think it'd be really good at descaling elements, exposed elements. Yeah, I can see a few different uses for that. Even though it's targeted at commercial, I could see homebrewers finding uses for that.
Yeah, like you said, if you've got one of our kind of, you know, exposed elements, the 2.75 kilowatt ones, the 2.4 kilowatt ones, the, you know, the 3 kilowatt ones, the, you know, the ones that loop over themselves that can be difficult to get into and clean.
Even a brutal system has exposed elements.
Absolutely. You know, there's definitely some situations where that could be really, really useful. I got one last product.
Okay, what's that?
When I saw it, I fell in love with it.
Okay. Oh, I know what that is. Because you did that video the other week about commercial keg, didn't you?
Yeah. So Rob and I recently did the video showing everybody how you can hook up a commercial Sankey keg to a homebrew kegerator just by switching out the adapter, going to your local brewery, getting a keg. That is designed to literally go in the top of one of those kegs and be able to clean it. So you can spray some cleaner on there, give it a clean, rinse it down, sanitizer, in you go, job done. And I love it. It's tactile. It's a bit of a desk fidget. I'm definitely going to keep that one on my desk.
I think we need to keep it away from Rob. He'll have a drawer full of them.
Oh, yeah, you'll see it in every video every week because he'll be fiddling with it. Yeah. Now, we know there's a whole ton of information there and lots of products we've just featured. We completely understand that actually it's a lot to take on board. So we would recommend that you check out some of the links down below that will take you to some of the products where you can learn a bit more about them. Definitely encourage you to read some of the data sheets on those products as well.
Yeah, you've got all the safety sheets there. You've got all the information, how to best use in full detail. That's just a kind of like overview of the product family that we've just kind of been bringing in. Yeah,
and expanding the amount of different size options so that actually we can offer them both to homebrewers in sort of suitable size pouches and sachets, but also to those bigger customers that maybe are looking to gather kind of more of their bits and pieces and supplies from one place.
I would say with Chemisphere as well, there are other things probably that we haven't touched on yet, and other things in development. They're constantly evolving, so definitely keep an eye on the cleaning section on our website if you want to learn more about new products.
Because, as we said at the very beginning of the video, homebrewing is at least 80%, if not 85%, cleaning and sanitizing, and the rest of it is enjoying some wonderful homebrew. So hopefully this has helped you think about how you can elevate some of your cleaning practices and get over some of those tricky things that might crop up, like lime scale, and enjoy homebrew that little bit more, and maybe speed up cleaning that little bit more.
Now, if you've made it to the end of the video, thank you for watching, and please do us a favour and press the like button below. And if you're not subscribed, hit that subscribe button and also the bell for notifications.
And as ever, if you've got any thoughts, comments or questions, drop them down in the comments section below, and we will see you in the next video. Have a great brew.
I can't wait to see how people are using these. I think they'll put them in the comments. That would be really good.